Look at that. It's me. It's PLD.
And I'm Richard-Erik Jarvi.
And I'm Matty Gunner. And this is Class Action.
The classiest movie show on the interwebs.
Every week get better and better. What's up, my friends? Good to see you. Good to see you guys. Thank you, PJ. Always good to have you in the chat right away, booing us all. Who are you booing? Are you booing all three of us, or just in general? Or I don't know what you're talking about.
He can't boo Matty because it's his birthday. Cheers,
That's
buddy.
True. It is Matty Gunner's birthday.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that.
So happy birthday, Matty Gunner. Good to see you as well. Good to see Jay in the chat as well. Always good to see my friend. No, you can turn it off. It's been a week. I gotta say, it's been a week. I wish I'd had time to sit down and watch both these movies back to back a bunch of times. I had to sneak them in here and there, but I am excited to talk about these because Prey really was an exciting movie to see. It was about time we got to see a streaming movie. It should have been on the big screen. I wish it was on the big screen.
Yeah.
But it's a amazing sequel. A lot of fun to talk about. I think we're gonna have a good time putting these two up against each other.
So I know the Prince Charles Cinema in London is doing a Predator all-dayer. In a few weeks, they're doing Predator. They're doing Predator, Predator 2, AVP, AVP 2, and Prey. Predators and Prey.
Oh, they're doing Predators. Okay,
all in one day.
Like you're gonna do everything, but then skip out on Predators. Come on now, it's not that bad. Oh, they're skipping out on the Predator, though, which everybody else.
Actually, the Predator is pretty okay as well. I think
it might be.
Jarvi,
maybe I just missed it when I was.
I think we're the only two people to say that. Everybody hates that. Everybody I've ever talked to hates the Predator.
I have to go back and rewatch it. It wasn't memorable enough at the time for me to be like.
Man. It was fun enough. I get that, but we are.
It's no Prey though. It's no Prey though.
See, I told you this. When PJ said the Predator is awful, but that's okay.
I'm pretty much losing faith in PJ. He keeps like.
You guys have been going at it all week, huh?
That's true.
I'm not even. I would go at someone if someone actually made sense. He's just. He's belligerent. He's talking about the greatest movies ever, and he's just hating on everything.
Damn, it was the
PJ,
Avatar
what's
comment,
up?
wasn't it?
What's up?
Now, the greatest movies ever. I will stay a little bit. So, Jay is not seen it. Okay, that's fine. Reefism, happy birthday, Matty.
Thanks, buddy.
Olivia Munn, it was all right. Yeah, see, okay, all right. Fans of something. Yes.
Who is that?
Honestly, I don't know.
What's up, fans?
What's up? Apparently, it's just you two. Let me just take myself out, apparently.
Well, your birthday. It's your dark. You can't barely see you. It's your lighting. It's like so.
Oh, Eddie Green. Dude.
Oh, it's Eddie Green. Oh, okay.
So,
we know who Eddie Green is.
I wanted to save this at the end of the show, but we talked to Eddie and we were thinking of, I thought of talking with you guys to bring him back.
Yes.
And do a special one because we have been talking about Spielberg versus Cameron at some point when it's closer to Avatar. So
I could definitely see that.
Eddie Green on that one because he's a huge fan of the Terminator and James Cameron anyway. So
it'd be me and Paul against you and Eddie.
Well, maybe because it depends on what time frame you go from. I mean, I'm a big Cameron fan too. I just like Cameron from the 1980s. And kind of into the 90s and beyond, I'm kind of like compared to Spielberg. Well, that's something to get into a long time. That's a whole episode, so let's not get into that too much. But
I knew it was the Avatar comment. I fucking knew it.
That's fine. All right. Well, Leon, let's get into the subject at hand today before we get too far off the rails. We have the matchup today is Predator from 1987, the original, and we have Prey from 2022, obviously the Hulu movie that just came out. And we're excited to talk about both of these movies. There are a lot of people. Prey definitely made its mark and is probably one of the, if not the best since the original. That's a strong statement to make. So
ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. It is. I'll say it. Fuck it.
I'm a guy who likes a lot of the. I love Predators. I think that's a great one.
I thought Predators was good. I just think this is the best one.
What to say? I have to say. I think I might have marked it that way. We'll have to find out. Is it better than Predator though? That's what we're here to find out more than anything else. That's a tough hill to climb, and one of the main reasons
better than one of the best action movies of all time.
It's also such a different movie. Like what in my review I want to say is like that I love this movie, but I'm not sure. It's kind of a weird thing to say considering it's obviously a Predator movie, but doesn't have it's a totally different feel.
It's very serious. It's
than
very
Predator
serious.
is. Right, exactly. I said the one thing I missed from Prey that I didn't get. One thing that I missed in Prey that I didn't get was that Predator had that little bit of humor in it.
Yeah.
Which is definitely missing from Prey, which makes it feel less like a Predator movie for me, and more like a different kind of movie with a Predator dropped in, if that makes sense.
It's more like a horror movie than a 80s action movie.
Right. That's two different things, and they're not. It doesn't say that one can't be as good as the other or a different way. It just it feels it's almost like harder to compare than I initially thought it was going to be. If that makes sense.
I appreciated Prey just for that reason, that it was different. Like, because they've been trying to do a sequel to Predator or prequel or whatever and try to do the same thing. Now they just had a new idea, a fresh take, reinvented in a way, and it friggin' worked. So I'm not bummed about it all. It would have been weird if they're just sitting around a campfire like smoking something, cracking jokes. I mean, come on, that's not something that doesn't work in that movie.
That would be what would happen if we were in the movie.
yeah. We'd also. Matty might live. I would definitely die.
No, I'd die. I can fight, but not that good.
But in a way, I want to talk. Actually, I should say this is actually Jay. You're spoiling something. This is actually one of the categories. We'll get into that to a degree. But I should actually show you guys this. My friend Jay, he had dressed as a Predator for Halloween, and it was wasn't like a home.
That's not an easy costume.
Have you guys ever seen the Predator house that's in Sweden?
No, I don't even remember.
No.
Oh, okay, I'm googling this and I'm putting a picture.
Is that in Stockholm?
No. I think the thing said it's like an hour away from Stockholm.
The Predator house.
Right, this house.
Heard of
this dude has done it up to look like the inside of the Predator ship.
That's pretty fucking cool. I'm not gonna lie. I'll take a look at that. But all right, well, let's get into it now. Of course, before we go into our categories, we do have our favorite game that we play weekly. And of course, after I don't know if you guys don't watch it. Nobody seems to watch this season. If you haven't watched the Westworld season, the end of Westworld episode this week, the best end of the Westworld since season 1, and my boy had a great moment that you're just gonna have to look up. Even if you don't ever watch the movie, just watch this last part, and you'll understand what I mean. But to bring it back. What would Ed Harris play?
Oh wow! I don't think you've used that picture before. Where's that from?
That's from Knight Riders, the George Romero movie, where he plays a leader of a medieval motorcycle group.
Oh, I figured that was.
I don't know why.
An actual medieval movie, but
I thought you said Knight Rider. And I was like, imagine Ed Harris playing an older Kip in the new Knight Rider movie.
Ooh.
Oh, you want him to voice Kid?
Ooh. As the cat, as the car, or you want to have
no? Because you said him playing Kid,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have Ed Harris's voice.
I kind of like it. I'm not gonna lie, but
it would be a very angry car.
It would be a very angry car. That's a good point. So, but what would you put him in? Well, sorry, Predator or Prey? I'll let you guys choose.
I think let's start with Predator.
You start Predator? Okay. Well, I'll let you start, Matty. You voiced it up. What are you going to put Ed Harris in as Predator?
I apologize in advance. I have already been the recipient of death threats from the wrestling audience when I talked shit to Ric Flair on Twitter one time. I could probably get it again with the next thing I'm about to say. I am recasting Jesse the Body Ventura. His character of is it Blair or Blaine?
Blaine Cooper.
Blaine
Cooper.
I am replacing Jesse the Body Ventura with Ed Harris.
So you want to hear Ed Harris say, "Ain't got time to bleed."
Yep. Yep.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I love it because I think Ed Harris is great for that role. That'd be perfect for him. I mean, he's that kind of intense character. That works immediately well. Even though Ed Harris is a little younger at this point. Jarvi, what about you?
So I took a bit of a different route. I created a role for him.
Ooh.
And it also requires a bit of a script change.
Okay.
So the moment when they first face off the Predator, well, when let's say Arnie faces off the Predator a little sooner, and he's unmasking the Predator. When he does that, it's actually a human dressed as the Predator, played by Ed Harris, And it turns out Ed Harris was the guy who first fell down with the helicopter, the one that Dutch and the others know.
Right.
And he defeated the Predator, took his
Wow.
costume, but when he unmasks himself, the second Predator kills him with the freaking claws through his face, and he's dead.
So essentially,
and they keep on battling the actual Predator from there on.
essentially, you want Ed Harris to be what Jean-Claude Van Damme was supposed to be.
Exactly.
Yes, that's exactly it. Well, it's not a bad comparison there. I kind of like that. I could do with that. I could definitely do with that. All right. I like where you're going with that. I actually did. I want to say I did not go Jarvi's route at all. I never even considered it. I did consider the Ventura route, actually, surprisingly, even though I'm a big wrestling fan, because it does fit perfectly. But I'm gonna have to say I'm gonna go with Jay. I'm gonna make him be Dylan, even though I know I'm replacing great Carl Weathers. But come on, Ed Harris is a shit weasel, and Carl Weathers has a little bit of shit weasel in him. I think he'd really make that work.
Oh, yeah.
So I think having Ed Harris likes that bad guy-ish role. He likes to tread that line between bad guy and good guy kind of thing in a way. So I think he'd be perfectly fit as the guy who lures them in, and maybe he's pushing a few too many pencils for Arnold's liking.
I mean, isn't that essentially Carl Weathers' whole career? Like everyone that he's played has been like treading the line between shit weasel and good guy.
That's true. Yeah.
And yes, I realize I'm whitewashing PJ. God damn it. God damn, you have to call me out. No, it did. That's all right. Ed Harrison, half the role is going to be whitewashing. That's fine. That's where I'm going to put him, though. Come on now. I had actually one other thought, but I saved it for Prey. So why don't we go ahead and go on to Prey? This is exactly, you want to talk about whitewashing. There's not a lot of roles to put him in that wouldn't be whitewashing. Ed Harris does not have any Comanche in him as far as I know.
Did you guys know that Mark Ruffalo was part Native American?
I did hear that before. Actually.
I had no idea until
he's part Native American.
He's part Native American.
Oh, okay.
I had no idea until
shit,
I'm already forgetting how to pronounce her name.
Amber,
yeah. Until like she tweeted at Mark Ruffalo saying thank you, because like Mark Ruffalo had a lot of like really good things to say about her performance.
Oh, that's cool. All right. Well, Jarvi, I'll let you go first for this one. What are you going to do in Prey?
This is a very boring one. So I try to figure, since I created a new role for Predator already, I feel like it could go into either movie. So I picked Predator. I would just have him as the leader of the Trappers. I feel like, but sort of that's I feel kind of embarrassed because that's kind of your clear-cut version. But the Trappers, they were kind of not menacing at all. And even the leader of them, the big stocky guy, he was, well, sure, if anyone goes up against the Predator, they can't be too menacing. But I probably recast him as the leader of the Trappers.
Okay, that's fair. What about you there, Matty?
I was gonna have him be the leader of the Trappers, because I just wanted to hear Ed Harris speak French.
No.
I'm gonna switch it up to the guy that translates the French and Comanche to Naru.
You guys are just whitewashing all the way.
Why? The dude was white.
No, he wasn't. The translator wasn't white.
Was he?
No.
Huh.
I'm gonna say quiet. I already whitewashed the first guy, so I gotta say quiet in this one.
I guess I'm whitewashing.
Fair enough. Kelly W. Happy birthday to Matty, of course. Always good to see you.
Thank you, Kelly.
Here. All right, well, that leaves me then. What do? I'm going to make this quite simple. Ed Harris is actually going to play the grizzly bear.
Motion capture?
He'll do the motion capture, and he'll put a good fight up against the grizzly, against the Predator.
I thought you were just going to do like a bear-sized Ed Harris.
Could be. It could be just in a suit. Maybe just like it's a thing. We'll make it work. So that's what we're gonna do. They're gonna Ed Harris's face onto the bear, make it work. It'll be just fine. Just trust me on this. He's a great actor. He can do it.
It's gonna be tough for him to jump around like Andy Serkis does in most of his motion. Like think of what it'll do to his back.
No, and he'll go out happy though, because he'll be appreciative of the job well done.
He went like full method, like lived in the woods amongst the bears.
Oh, completely. He didn't talk to anybody. Like during the whole movie, he couldn't talk, so he had
just
to,
growled.
He growled a little bit, grabbed some fish, and went there. So
you guys are telling me you don't want Ed Harris to play Naru solely for the moment where Naru's sitting on top of the cliff looking down at the bear.
Yeah.
Getting the
But
bow
now
ready.
he's the bear and he's looking up.
Yeah. Oh, all right.
Just said Harry's no motion capture. That could work.
Yeah. Okay, that can make that work. Actually, make that work.
That's what I'm saying. Ed Harris, but the size of a bear.
I love it. We'll make it work. Well, let's get out from this ridiculousness. Let's move on to the actual categories of the show. The trial, if you were predator versus prey. We have our 5 categories we have come up with to debate and decide which one actually will defeat the other. Do we want to do a snap judgment?
Yeah.
I'm good.
We're going to not do a snap judgment this time. I kind of feel like we don't want to do a snap judgment this time because I do feel like we had a discussion a little bit previous to the episode starting, and we have some ideas in our head. I want to kind of see how they work out as they unfold. So
One thing we
mine?
do have to say before we start the trial is there will be spoilers.
yes, of course, spoilers
Yeah,
of Prey. Because
will
if you haven't
be
watched Prey,
spoilers.
we're going to be talking about Prey. So
That's good because we didn't do it last
And the
week.
Predator, sorry, without the
well, if you haven't watched Predator from 1987 by now, go
Sucks
fuck
to be
yourself. Go fuck yourself. Go stop. Hit the. I don't want you to watch it anymore. Just go watch the Predator. Go watch.
Come
Predator.
on, watch it now.
No, what is now? Get to the video screen. All right. Action. All right. So category number
Come
one
on,
we have
do it now. Come on.
it's kind of a difficult one to decide. I really had to went back and forth a couple of reasons. It's better hero. So basically, we have Arnold versus Amber.
Versus Amber.
So that is a very difficult category to discuss right away. I mean, I'll bring this up now. I don't want to talk about it and dwell in it because we're a very positive show. There's obviously a minority of jackasses out there who can't see a female in the lead role. And, oh my God, a young Comanche woman defeated the Predator. Holy shit. How could you compete? But we're not that show. But we're also a show who grew up on the Arnold as well. So I think we were actually probably 3 of the better people to actually sit down and think of this because we're going to go back and forth on this. And we'll come up with actually a good winner. Unfortunately, I still don't know what that winner is in my head because they're 2 very different kind of heroes. You have Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's probably the epitome of 80s action, him and Sylvester, really, in a very Arnold-y role. Big muscles, big badass, big grunting male.
Horrible dialect.
Horrible dialect.
Well, not a horrible dialect, sorry. Horrible him trying to do an American accent sort of word.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's horrible. Yeah, there's not a lot good about that. On the other side, you have Amber Midhunter, who's playing a young Comanche warrior, who obviously is not she is trying to be a hero. That she's trying to be the hero that Arnold kind of is at her point in life because she's young. She's just trying to be a hunter. She's trying to make her way in a different world entirely. You can go one side. Arnold is again, like I said, it's hard not to love Arnold as the big 80s action comedy kind of guy. You kind of like that's the kind of guy you want an action hero to be. But yet, who's a bigger hero? The one who can do it like that and just look like that, be as like manly as that and rough and housing as that, or the young 15-year-old girl who actually, and I don't care what anybody else says, she proves herself quite well and adept. I'm not surprised when she beats the Predator at the end because she's taken the entire film to show how she started, how she learned, how she used her skills, and how she eventually got to the point where she could defeat the Predator at the end. So which one's a bigger hero? I think I'm actually going to I feel like I'm being classified to myself in a way. I'm going to pick Amber. I think Amber is a bigger, better hero. Arnold's more of a caricature and a cartoon of it. I love it. It was perfect for his time, and she's perfect for her time. I always feel like that's the story of the hero itself, though, is Amber is more interested to see. It's more interesting to see her character make it through. Arnold, you almost know is going to win. I do say this is right. Jay is right. Arnold is perfect for Predator because you don't see the big 80s action icon as the underdog, which is a good point. But in a way, it's a little bit cartoonish in a way, comparatively to the hero's journey we get from Amber. If that makes sense. So I'm going to go Amber.
I'm very surprised.
Aren't you? Jarvi, go ahead. Hit me with it.
The only thing I feel like that you could knock on Amber is the way she does do the Comanche accent a little bit, but she does sort of, I don't know, fall in and out. She speaks very modern at times, and her look, like her face, she has a sort of like a modern face to her. but like she delivers like the best acting performance of her career. The face paint, everything makes her so damn believable. So, and also what I really like about Naru is you can tell that she's physically, strength-wise, definitely not going to be beating the Predator. She uses her wits way more than she does use her strength. She's quick though. They go like hand to hand quite a few times, like ducking, hitting. She hits the Predator way a lot of times. But again, it's the wits that make her the action hero in this, and that can be said about Arnie as well. I feel like Dutch he definitely has the muscle and the strength, but that's eventually not what beats the Predator. It's still the traps and everything. He pretty much builds a trap on top of a trap, and that's the way he defeats him.
I would actually say real quick that's funny thing about it. Like sometimes people say, because Jay says it here, there's a lot of testosterone in Predator. A lot of people will say that there's almost a toxic masculinity factor going on in Predator, but I would actually disagree, because I think that it showed the whole movie is about this very overly masculine guy with overly masculine traits, but he has to strip those down.
He
and
gets humbled.
The whole crew gets the whole crew of badass males gets killed, and it's only when Arnie kind of steps back and goes back without the technology and that's when he wins. So
does the girl survive?
The girl, I think, yeah. The girl.
She survived. She's on the beach at the end.
Yeah, and she's not sexualized at all, and she's not like it's like a very.
Leave anything for us? Just bodies.
It's actually more of it's actually more curses toxic masculinity, saying it's the wrong thing. Thank you, PJ. We're on the same page. As a lot of times we are. So,
but but the reason I'm going Amber as well, I'm going Prey. Okay. I feel like Arnie is freaking iconic. He looks like the best he's ever looked on screen as an action hero. Mm-hmm. But it's just Amber so much more exciting to watch. The way she grows, the way exactly what you said. Her journey starts at one point, ends in a completely different place, and we'll get to a few of her like adventures when you get to the next category, but Amber all the way on this one as well.
All right, good. Okay, to you, Prey. Matty.
I feel like I have the same thing with Predator that I do with Fight Club. A lot of people bring up how it's about toxic masculinity and everything without actually looking deeper below the surface. And people like to throw around the phrase toxic masculinity when they see a movie like Predator, when you've got a bunch of jack dudes that are going in and they all get humbled real fucking fast by the Predator. At the start, when they're fighting the enemies, they're winning. Yep, they got the chain gun, Max there, blasting people away. Arnie throws the knife into the guy and he sticks through the door. He says, stick around. Awesome. That's what we want. But then the Predator comes into things and shit changes real fucking quick.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like, okay, everything we knew before, got to throw it out the window. The reason I'm making my pick is because I feel as great as Arnold is, you could interchange Arnold with any single member of that team. You could put Mac in Dutch's place, same thing. You could put literally anyone. You could put a jack dude in Arnold's place and have him essentially have the same performance and the same outcome, and it would just be like, all right, cool, we got what we wanted. 80s action hero won the day, beat the Predator, cool, we got what we wanted. But seeing someone who, and there was a line in Prey that really fucking stuck to me, was when the mother says to Naru, you're good at all these other things. Why would you want to be a hunter? And Naru says, because none of you think I can.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck. All right, I'm on her side. Like, I want her to beat the dog shit out of the Predator now.
And in a way, she's the best hunter of all of them.
Yeah.
Even when she takes down the lion, like the other Comanche freaking dies instantly.
Yeah.
And she pretty much defeats
say,
the lion.
I used your plan.
Yeah. No, but you can see that she actually spears the lion and then falls.
Right.
The lion's speared already.
I love that. That's true. Reefism. No, I have not yet. Unfortunately, I do want to. I just haven't had time to do it yet. I will go back and watch.
If only the original version was the Comanche version. Like I would watch that because it always bothers me to watch a dubbed version. I need like the lips and the audio to be the same.
That's fair.
That was the reason why I didn't watch it. The first I heard of it, I was like, okay, interesting. I'm definitely going to watch that one, but unfortunately, it was in English originally.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
right.
I'm picking Amber because I just feel like her character arc overall is so much better than Dutch's, and
Hmm.
there's more of
Oh,
it.
oh.
There is more hero story, as Paul said. Like there's more
Right.
of it. She's a better like. Not only that, it's kind of a weird coming of age story.
Mhm,
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure.
Is. Absolutely is.
And we can't separate the heroes because Amber and her dog are pretty much the heroes in this. The dog's with her, not all the way throughout the
I was
movie,
fucking
but a
worried
lot
for
of the
that
times.
dog
And
throughout the whole film.
I gotta tell
dude,
you,
I was
one
like,
thing.
I actually looked up. I can't watch a dog die,
No,
so I looked up. There's a page doesthedogdie.com. I looked it up because my anxiety would have gone through the fucking roof.
Actually, PJ will admit I was on a Zoom with PJ the other day, and we were with Sean Sullivan. Sean Sullivan's I forget what
Shout out to
word
Sean.
he used. I love Sully, but he said he
Best.
didn't like Prey. He liked Prey, but he didn't like what Prey. He didn't like was the fact that they teased the dog death too many times, and like it seemed like it always.
I get that.
Like, so it's like he didn't like that. It's like overusing that tactic because he didn't want to see the dog die either. And I think it's something
No,
that
I get that.
I think it's a basic thing for everybody. No one really wants to watch the dog die. So it's like
the only movie where I'll give the dog's death was very much necessary is John Wick, even though it broke my heart, but it served such an important purpose there.
I would say don't watch the Halloween franchise. Michael Myers has a penchant for he likes to eat dogs.
No.
So.
No.
He eats dogs. So there's usually one dog.
He eats dogs.
Oh yeah, he's a force of evil. He's a force of evil. It's true. But even PJ loves dogs, and he can watch the Halloween. So maybe he can get around. Doesn't really see it on screen too much usually. So, dog death porn. That's what it was. It was dog death porn. Like it kind of like was teasing it. That's what he used it, and that's what it was. So, I mean, PJ, you like dogs. You don't even about Halloween. Like it's
you like dogs.
But anyway,
dogs.
Like dogs. All right. Let's move on to the next category. Then we got better action. This is a really tough one, and I'm not about to start this one out. So why don't you go first, Matty? You're our action guy.
This is really fucking tough because you have the stuff with. I love just like primal, get down to the bare bones stuff. I love obviously having guns, explosives, everything. But when you're reduced down to your primal necessity, like if you took a gun out of the situation, who would win out of this person in a fight? And in this case, we got the Predator with all of his gadgets, which in the end he gets fucking robbed of, and he has to use the landscape that he's not familiar with against Naru, who knows the area like the back of her hand. And we even see in the trap that she sets when she gets him to fall into the mud, and she's got the helmet like pinned to where he's gonna be exactly sunk down to. So when he fires the thing, and it's like doom, 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 doom. Like that's awesome. That's a like brand new take on something like that. But the child in me, the bro dude in me, just Mac with the big ass fucking chain gun is the coolest shit in the world. Because that was Predator was probably the first time I ever saw a gun like that, and I was just like, "What the fuck is
the
that?"
minigun?
Yeah, and it's just explosions everywhere. It's like that is definitive bro dude action, and it speaks to my soul in a way that, while I love and admire what they did in Prey, I gotta go with Predator.
Okay. All right. I'll actually follow you up with that because I actually agree exactly what you said. Like, to part of me, there's a certain gnarliness to Prey that isn't quite as there in Predator, I feel, because like that's partially, I think, advancement of graphics and like be able to do some things that look. I mean, because Predator's in the 80s, it's very 80s action. There's a realness and earthiness to Prey that is very much hard for Predator to get to.
Are you reading my notes? What the fuck? You're like earthy, raw. This is straight out of my freaking notes, man.
But at the same time, exactly what you said, Matty. It's like I can't beat in Jay. I can't beat 80s action. I mean, it is cartoonish in a way, but it's so wild. It's so primal. And I think it is a bro dude thing at this point. Sometimes it's hard for us to get out of. I mean, I loved Prey's violence. I thought Prey's violence was gnarly, and I love watching it. I love the throwing axe, the batarang thing she had, basically. I loved some of the stuff where like the Predator ripped the fucking like you saw him rip the spines out of animals. Like he was like, it was gnarly and
I was
action-oriented.
I hate snakes. Like I have a phobia of
same.
snakes.
Me too.
So when Predator ripped that snake in half, I was like, yeah, because there was the moment where the snake's like coiled and then it like goes at the screen. I was like, fuck that. Like, I legit at that moment I moved back because I was like, fuck this. So when the Predator ripped the snake in half, I was like, oh, bless you, thank you.
But there's just something.
But
about,
do you know what that was a nod to?
What was that?
In Predator, I think it's Dylan that has the scorpion on his back.
Oh,
And then Matt goes,
yeah,
and just kills it and then cracks it.
Okay. I like that. There's quite a few little nods.
Oh yeah, the cigar.
Jack Slater versus Predator. That's a good one to do too. Last action era. Oh god, that'd be great.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
I love it. So give it to me. Give it to me, Predator, for me as well. I can't not go for that big 80s action. How about you, Jarvi?
There was like pretty much the same that you guys said, the 80s action, but it did bother me that that their team was, because they're supposed to be like these really trained special operatives. Yeah. And whenever they're like in the action, they're just like shooting A-team style. They're not. No one's like aiming proper. Like it's fucking like all the way from the hips. Like everything's like, dude, you guys are supposed to be like special ops. This is just fucking. What the hell are you doing? That kind of bothered. But I do get it. It's McTiernan. It's 80s. It's pre-Die Hard. It's what everything like was built on at that time in the action movies. And I do love that the action takes quite a while to get going. When it comes to the Predator, at least they go in the jungle. They look around for a while. They do have that compound action set piece, a lot of explosions. But the Predator, I don't think they even show like the camouflaged version of him like halfway through the movie. Right. There's a lot of them. And what I really freaking love is the way they just show you these empty spots. They just zoom in and just the drums come on. That's freaking like almost like what Jaws did. But this one is going to Prey because all of the brutality, exactly what Paul said, the earthiness, and the fact that it takes a risk with not waiting to get going. And I saw your review, PLD, and I disagree with you that you said Prey takes a while to get going. It pretty much starts from the get-go. Go ahead.
I would say it doesn't complete. I mean, I see what you're saying. It does hit right away, but then it does take a lot to get to that. The rest of it is kind of the slow burn journey to get to the end, to get to the big final thing at that point. I feel like there's some moments where I don't know what I would cut out. I really don't know what I would cut because it's not that long of a movie. I did feel like there was some. It took a long time establishing some things that I probably would have been maybe cut down.
Starts off with Naru just like throwing her axe. The next one is they're hunting for the animals. Like when she goes up against the lion, and when the bear scene comes up, that freaking bear scene is one of the reasons why I'm actually giving the better action to Prey as well. That was
we did see the comic book.
That was from the trailer as well, and I wish we hadn't seen the trailer part when the just bear gets dragged out, just blood all over the place. You see the Predator a little bit, but yeah, there was like Revenant vibes in this with the bear scene that I've just it was awesome.
Dude, did you see people complaining that they used the CGI bear?
I did see that.
It actually didn't. It was very much a CGI bear, and you could tell. But it was shot so freaking well. Yeah. It was like when she shot the bear with the arrow, and it just fucking kept coming. Nothing phased the bear. Oh my god, that was scary as shit.
I love how she didn't try to make herself big as well. Like that whole myth that if you make yourself big, then the bear will run away. It's like no,
that won't happen. I will say,
but also,
I just want to throw out there real quick that somebody threw out there. They asked me whether I should they could watch Prey without having seen Predator, and the only you can absolutely can, but the one reason why I would suggest watching Predator first is that Predator does this great job of hiding the Predator. Like you don't see the Predator until the very end.
That's my next point.
That monster thing, and this one you see it all the way through, which is fine because you've seen the Predator, but like it's kind of like don't watch Prey before Predator because of that in a way, or else then like
Yeah.
the Predator won't work nearly as well because you've already seen it already. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so go ahead.
That's one of the risks that Prey takes as well. You see the Predator pretty much 5 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
Because it gets dropped down and you see him. That's something that Predator didn't do until halfway through the movie. So they took a risk and it still worked.
Yeah,
it still worked.
I almost wish, honestly, that Prey hadn't done that. Still, though, I wish they hadn't seen the Predator in the beginning. I kind of feel like it'd been cool to like discovered it with her.
I actually like the fact that it felt different again. It was like, okay, they're not doing Predator, they're doing Prey. This is different. This is a different tone. This is a different vibe. But I do get your like criticism about that. Also, the hand-to-hand combat, like in Predator, the Predator was very slow moving. Pretty much just it was like 80s, like fighting, slow punches. There was a lot of like freaking acrobatics and movement, jumping.
A lot of stick and move.
All of these points make me go for Prey.
Okay, that's absolutely fair. Going to the chat real quick. PJ saying the best thing about Prey's action is how much it happens off camera, out of focus until he's finally revealed. That was an interesting artistic choice. Reefism, Prey takes place in the 1700s. So the Comanche are more tactical when they're hunting. Absolutely. He's saying, fairly intensive building it that way from her perspective, watching the violence. Then he decloaks and he starts seeing all the action much more. It's wild. I guess that's what I'm saying in a way, though. I kind of would wish we had done that throughout, and then I think that works better if you haven't seen him in the beginning.
I do like that they also kept with some of the lore established in movies like Predators, where they were like, where she realizes, oh, he doesn't hunt that way. Like when they're tied up, and she says to her brother, she's like, no, we're fine, because
I love that.
This is a game to him. Like this isn't, he's not coming to like eat us for food. No, this is just sport, and right now we're useless to him, so we're fine.
She thinks outside the box, which is one of her best positive attributes in a way. And that's what you don't see right away negative compared to like the hunters who think they know everything at that point. All right, well, we got that done. Let's move on to better location. This one to me has I guess because I've wrapped up location. Like, is it? We didn't actually ask this. Is it what's the better location to have the fight in, or was it?
Entirety of the movie, I would
entirety
guess.
of the movie, I would say.
Prey
do your own thing.
Fucking beautiful. Like it is beautifully shot. It is so well crafted. Predators kind of feels like a jungle, any jungle we see. I don't see very much. Like it's a cool jungle type thing, but it doesn't use that location nearly as well as Prey does. I felt. I'm giving it to Prey hand down. Like no spoiling nothing right away. I loved every single shot. It was kind of like it reminded me of like an artistic shot you could put up on the wall. It's a beautiful landscape. They have some nice open areas as well as some nice closed-in areas. It has like the mud pit, the smaller mud pit, the quicksand mud pit compared to like the big, I'm going to throw mud all over my body kind of thing. It has the dam that she uses to try to escape the bear and everything else. There's just so much more about the locations here that they use. That Predator is just kind of like Predator's location is just the action. It's just the set piece. It's just this is where we are. Prey was almost like the location felt almost like a character itself in a way. Yes, the Predator water fell the giant. I know Jay's gonna kill me for this. He's a big Predator fan. I just felt like I was in that location of Prey more than I was in Predator, to be honest with you. I think that might be the fact that Predator had so many characters I was invested in. Like Prey only has the one real character, maybe her brother and the dog kind of thing, whereas Predator is filled with these larger than life cartoon action stars. I felt the location in Prey, so I'm going to go with Prey.
There's a reason why the location works so damn well in Prey. It was completely shot on location, and they only used natural light. There was like zero lighting. They went like full Revenant with that one, and they actually shot in Canada on actual Native American land. They asked for permission there, and they like the crew and I think Amber and some of the like other Comanche actors, they took part in a ritual also while they were filming with the actual people that lived there. So that's one of the reasons why it freaking works so well. The fact about the jungle is are we sure that it was actually shot on location, or was that a set?
I honestly don't know. I honestly never went.
It feels like a set.
I feel it was shot somewhere.
Yeah.
Wasn't it shot in like Puerto Rico?
Maybe it was half and half, but but it does feel what they really managed well is sure it's a jungle and it's outside, but it was still very claustrophobic, which I really loved.
It was shot
because prey is pretty much like open spaces, it's just like places you can run away. In Predator, in the jungle, you feel like you're trapped, like there's just nowhere really to hide, to run.
It was
It's
shot in Mexico. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Way over budget, supposedly. Yeah, I'm looking at that now. I should have actually put that before, but yeah, Mexico jungles, Palenque, Chiapas. Most of it was shot in Mismaloya, Mexico. Well, like I say, Canada's better than Mexico as far as film goes. I like the location better.
Oh yeah, I'm going Prey as well for exactly the same reason that it was on location, natural light, and actually the director said that they had to cross the river every morning to get to their like preferred location. So it was a grind. It was a grind for them.
All right, Matty.
I mean, I think it's going to be a consensus at this point. It's right because not only because of everything you guys mentioned, but we get to see how they would combat the predator in different landscapes. You have the big, wide open cornfield or the wheat field that they can hide in, but the predator still manages to track them through it. You have like the woodland area that he still manages to track them through, but it's still
it's the burned forest as well.
This is not a commentary on anything to do with what happened when the Americans showed up. It's truly them defending their land. It's him saying, all right, you've come to our territory. You want to hunt us on our own ground. All right, cool. Have a go. We'll see how it goes. Like, we'll see how you do. And the Predator does well. But ultimately, it's Naru knowing exactly where the Predator's going to stand, exactly how low he's going to sink, because she knows the area better than anyone. So the area plays more into a factor of the final kill, than it does in Predator. Yeah. In Predator, it's just Arnold covering himself with mud. And there was the moment where Naru climbed out of the mud pit and she was covered in mud. I thought, oh, here we go. Now is when this is going to be the ode to Predator. She's going to be covered in mud. Right, she's going to use that. But she doesn't. She uses the flour.
I like that.
That was really cool.
The flour to hide her body temperature.
Mm-hmm. They teased it. It was smart. I like that a lot.
Yep.
And it was just like, when she was washing the mud off of her, I was like, no, don't do that. Like, they you need to do that so you're camouflaged in. Nope. She just used the flour to hide her body temperature. And then she that little moment where she's standing there and the hunter's there that she's using as bait, and the predator just comes walking by her, and she just takes that one little step to the side, and it's literally just moving one step. And the predator just walks right by her because she knew immediately where to stand.
Yep, it's perfect.
I was like, fuck, that is so cool.
I also did love those overfield shots, like the ones they did.
Beautifully shot.
That was so beautifully done. And Reefus was saying the Predator guys aren't familiar with the terrain, but Prey the Comanche need to land. Exactly what we're saying. Absolutely. I will say, by the way, the mud pit thing. Did anybody else get a Treyu Never Ending Story vibes?
Yes.
Oh, oh wow! I didn't get there, but I do get it now.
I was watching it, and my heart started like pitter pattering, like my old like young self. Like I always get like triggered when I see that kind of stuff now. God, Indiana jumped up on me. But okay, so we got. Wow, all three done. This is maybe not going the way we thought it might go, but let's move on and see. Number 4, Better Predator.
Oh.
Better Predator. Fight.
This is an impossible one.
Artex, yes, dude. Artex.
I don't know. I don't know if it is that. If it is that close.
I'm going to go ahead.
Go for it.
It's Predator.
Okay.
It's Predator by far. Prey was well done in the modern aspect. They used a lot, like they showed him a lot more and everything else. But the Predator design in the 80s was just something so raw about it and so real about it, despite the fact that it was obviously not as real. It was obviously much more practical effects from the 80s and stuff. But god damn, the look and like the just the feel of it. I just feel like that Predator also was a more able Predator. I feel like the Predator in Predator wouldn't have fallen to some of the things that fell to in Prey, to be honest. And maybe Prey is younger, maybe Prey is more experienced. I feel like the Predator from the 80s would have kicked the Prey Predator's ass.
Yeah.
It was also a different time period for the Predator as well.
Right.
Sure, he's from the future, but like he had a skull mask, like the weapons that he was using, they were more mechanical rather than sci-fi. Like there was, the laser only served an aiming purpose. In Predator, it was an actual laser that could heat up stuff.
Right. I don't know, man. I think the Predator look is just so iconic from Predator. It's hard to ever try to do anything different and make it their own. I mean, Prey was good. It's Prey Predator. I didn't think the Prey Predator was not bad anyway, but
and with the Predator, you have the acid blood as well.
Yeah.
Which Prey's Predator didn't have.
Oh no, it wasn't acid.
Wasn't it?
It wasn't acid. No, because she actually the girl from the first one. She rubbed the blood on her leg as well, and it did damage to her.
Blood.
You're thinking about the alien. Yeah, you're thinking about Alien. Because I just watched it yesterday, and I actually made note of that fact that the girl that they saved from the camp, she actually like rubs the blood on her leg, and nothing happens to her.
Maybe I think of that.
Predator, he's more like a seasoned warrior, whereas Prey's Predator is a young kid trying to prove himself. While also
that's what I love about I love about the Prey's Predator is the fact that, and you can also tell that I'm just gonna call the Prey's Predator Prey. Prey feels like
the Prey
he's enjoying. Prey is like you can tell that he's enjoying every kill, like the way he freaking just de-spines the creatures.
Right.
Like there's also a moment I can't remember.
I fucking hated him when he did that to the wolf. I was like, "Fuck you."
There was a moment where I think he kills one of the trappers, and the Prey turns to the camera. It goes like, "Wow." Or something like does the grunts. He's like, oh, he's fucking showing arrogance. He's got a freaking like personality about him. But the fact that you said the look of the Predator is better in Predator. There's a lot of Predators. The prosthetics and the fleshiness of like the talons and the way the mouth opens, it looks so damn real. I've got no idea how they freaking pulled it off that well. It doesn't look like prosthetics, or it actually looks fleshy. And real, that ugly motherfucker.
I was gonna say, Prey is definitely an uglier motherfucker than Predator.
All right. So, what's your final then, Jarvi? You're gonna go.
It actually the flair and the way the kills happen. I'm going with Prey again.
Wow. Okay. And Matty, what's
and
your
I
final?
freaking love the shield and the helmet. Oh
fuck! Awesome. I forgot about the shield.
That was so cool.
That was a fucking gnarly kill.
The way he used the shield in a lot of ways.
I gotta go Predator solely for the moment at the end, because we see Prey, he takes the bracelet off. This bracelet the Predator uses to self-destruct. He takes it off and puts it down, and they're all like looking at it. Predator's just like, he's got it on and he's dialing it because he knows he's fucked. So he's just like, fuck it, I'm gonna take you out anyway. If I'm going out, I'm taking you out with me. And he just fucking dials it in, and he's waiting for the bomb to blow, and he's just laughing his ass off. And I was just like, oh my god.
Oh, he does the Mac laugh or something, I think.
Yeah, he does the Max laugh. And he's just fucking laughing at Arnold, and he's just looking him down. He's like, guess what, motherfucker? You don't know what's about to happen, but I do.
That was a huge explosion as well.
Yeah. He was literally looking at him like, checkmate, motherfucker, I've got you. And Arnold was just like, nope, I'm out of here.
How did Dutch know the explosion was gonna be that? Like, if it was me and someone's blowing themselves, I would just hide behind the first tree. It was like half the fucking jungle blew up, and he's just running away.
I love it. Yeah, you know what, Reeve? I'd like to see that too. I think a Predator series could be really cool. An anthology series done that way, that'd be awesome, man. I'd like to see that. But all right, well then let's get on to the final category then. Which I actually almost wish we had a sixth category. You know what? I'm going to spring a sixth category, guys, on you on the.
I'm not
live.
On board with this idea.
My sixth category. I'm gonna write it in the private chat.
Okay. Let's see this.
Wow. This is easy.
Oh yeah, easy.
So it's an easy one to do. So we're going to add that as a sixth category. So we'll start with our fifth category, better music. the reason why I'm adding the sixth category, honestly, the better music wasn't as strong for me. So I kind of want, this is one I should have done before the show started, but we didn't have time. So we're going to do both instead. Better music. I'm going to start off with saying, when I watched Prey, honestly, I didn't really, I mean, the music was fine, but it didn't really, I don't remember a lot of the music. I couldn't tell you what it sounded like today. I mean, it worked in the film itself. So I remember thinking when I was watching the movie, seeing it was good, but how can it compare to Alan Silvestri?
Oh, Silvestri.
Predator. Yeah. I mean, even if it does rip from Back to the Future at times, I feel like there's some similarities at times in his score.
Huh.
There's moments where they actually off the show after. There's some moments where it does score, and you got the drum sounding and everything else. I think Alan Silvestri is just one of my favorite composers of all time. So it's hard to match up with that kind of thing. And Prey didn't really have to use the music; it was kind of sweeping a little bit. But I actually preferred the moments in Prey when it was silent. I actually preferred that more. I think. Or I thought it was silent, and if I thought it was silent, it means it really wasn't memorable at all. Anyway, so I got to go with Alan Silvestri. I know he wrote that too. That's what I'm saying. He's one of those composers that steals from himself, and I'm okay with that. Composer steals from himself. All the best. Williams does that occasionally. I mean, Zimmer's done that all the time. I love that kind of thing. So I got to go with Silvestri on this one myself. What do you guys think about this one, Jarvi?
I do love the Silvestri. Pretty much, he uses the Jaws approach on this as well. Like whenever we're not seeing the Predator, but we're just getting the drums, and I freaking love the drums. It's almost like the Jaws, like the do 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 do, and then it builds into this very 80s action like score. It just pretty much changes up from the drums, and why I freaking love Praise. Sarah Schachner, never heard of her before, but she does a very subtle but menacing soundtrack, and I'm going Prey again because this really influenced the movie with this raw Native American sort of feel. And at first I didn't notice the movie either, but I listened to the entire soundtrack today, and I was immediately transported back to the movie. And I gotta say, when you're not noticing the score, that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's a good thing. It drives your emotions, it drives the tempo, and it just freaking works. So I'm going Prey all the way, 5 out of 5.
Well, which soundtrack would you listen to without the movie?
Definitely Prey.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
Yep.
Matty, birthday boy.
This was a tough one because I just looked this up. There were quite a few like Native American instruments that were used in the score for this movie. A lot of like the string instruments, some of the, like Native American flutes and stuff, and Native American drums you can hear, and that's great. I think that they delved that deep to use the actual instruments as opposed and have people actually play those instruments as opposed to just using a sample and just playing it on a guitar and then just switching the samples on the score, but actually having people come in and play the actual instruments of the culture. I think that's really cool. But if you listen to the intro of this song, of this podcast, you will know I am a sucker for 80s action movie scores. I have to give this one to Predator.
All right. That makes sense.
But I admire the massive fucking swing they took with the Prey score.
It's really damn good.
Okay, well then, let's move on to our new improvised category, which I definitely should have added a while ago, but I couldn't quite come up with it until the middle of the show. All of a sudden, it hit me. This is what I wanted to do because this is important to me for this one.
You just saw the score and you just figured.
Actually, no, because I actually fucked up the score. I'm gonna have to give me a second to really go through it. So I don't know. Rewatchability. Because that's important for me in a lot of these movies, kind of thing. And in this case, I want to watch Prey again a lot. I do.
Easily Prey.
This is something that can easily get to the point. It's easily Predator for me, though.
No.
Rewatching Predator, you're going to tell me right now, in 2 years from now, you're going to sit down and you're rather watch Prey than Predator.
The moment I finished Prey, 3 days ago, I immediately wanted to watch it again. When I was watching Predator, it actually kind of felt like a drag. And I do love Predator, but after, hear me out, after watching Prey, Predator felt kind of clunky because Prey did so much right. It did so many things right.
I can't believe
That's
what I'm
only the
hearing.
reason when you watch them back to back. I'm pretty sure if I watch Predator, have a glass of scotch, I'm gonna freaking enjoy the shit out of it. But Prey was so damn good that watching Predator was like, okay, how much of this is left? Okay, all right.
Wow. Okay. Gunner, give it to me.
Jesus fucking Christ. I came into this thinking like this was going to be easy, but now Jarvi's just fucking... Jarvi could sell porn to a blind man sometimes, and he just makes me rethink my opinion. I gotta go Predator.
Fair enough.
Fair.
I gotta go Predator solely just because the machismo, the 80s cheesiness, the soundtrack, the big explosions. That speaks to me more of like, it's kind of like The Northman. The Northman isn't a movie that I would say I love more than, I think I'd like Prey more than Predator, but I wouldn't want to watch it as many times, if that makes sense. If I want to just like a quick hit of, endorphins, you just be like, that was sweet. I'm gonna stick on Predator. If I want to like sit down and just like have the evening to myself and just be like, okay, I'm gonna watch a movie that I really want to get lost in, then I would choose Prey. But
that's a good argument.
If I just want a quick hit of endorphin and just be like, that was fucking sweet, I'm going.
Oh, look at that! PJ has a good point for a change.
Let's say a couple different things. Actually, I also don't think Prey could have launched a franchise like Predator did for many reasons. That I kind of sort of agree with. I agree with that. Predator is the winner of this because ultimately that movie's rewatchability is why Prey exists. That's true.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Alex Diaz saying the first Predator is still the GOAT, but Prey is second. Okay, that's fair. Marcus Redshirt saying my only big critique of Prey is the costume design. Most people won't notice, but the attire was very formal.
Yeah, that's one of the things I forgot to bring up. You could tell the bodysuit was like you could tell it was a bodysuit when it twisted and turned. Like the abs didn't move like they were supposed to. There was a little bit of a disconnect there.
I did love the bone helmet, though. I gotta say, I did love the Predator's bone helmet.
And the shields.
I thought that was pretty fucking sweet.
That was pretty fucking cool. I'm not gonna lie. And the shield was pretty cool too, as well. Got that from God of War, if I read that correctly. That was inspired by God of War, which is kind of cool. This might be the best way to do it. We'll just watch them both back to back, so you can rewatch them both. That's not bad. That's not a bad idea.
That is a good. Max,
again,
that is
watch Predator first. Watch Predator first, though.
So I might watch Prey first.
No, I guess now that you've seen
then you'll
Predator,
see my point on rewatchability.
I think you can watch Predator first.
I was going more chronologically, just so like it sets it up.
Yeah. Well, you got to watch Predator 2 though, too, especially considering the Easter egg at the end of Predator, at the end of Prey, the Easter egg for Predator 2.
Oh, fuck, that's right.
So you'd have to at least watch.
Oh yeah,
Predator
the
2
gun was there.
Randolph Lini, what's the name?
And there was also the bit at the end of the credits where they have the painting, and at the end of the painting they turn around and look up, and the ships are coming down out of the sky.
Oh,
so yeah. I wondered if we're gonna get
a sequel that way.
If we're gonna get Prey 2.
It could happen, but of course that means that doesn't sound good for our heroine, because she's bound to get her ass.
I liked your idea. Put it in feudal Japan. Have Hiroyuki Sanada's having like a Sanada song now. So like with John Wick, and Bullet Train, Mortal Kombat, have Hiroyuki Sanada versus the Predator.
I'd be okay with that.
And then bring it to the Viking times.
Yeah.
Then the first feudal Japan, then Vikings, and I'm pretty sure we could have medieval Predator as well.
There is a fan film of Predator versus the Knights of Templar that is really good.
Oh yes, I need that.
It's on YouTube in full. You can watch it. It's really great.
I have fan films,
Predator 2 really expanded the universe of nothing else. Predator 2 is PJ Campbell's favorite. Not his best, but it is his favorite.
Lost me again.
I enjoy Predator 2 actually a lot, but it is fun.
I need to rewatch it.
It's fun. It's really got some great moments, and it got Paxton in it, of course. But either way, we have finished our saying. So at the end of the day, we had the categories. Better hero, we all agreed on Prey. Better action, Predator won 2-1. Better location, all three of us went with Prey. Better Predator, Predator won 2-1. Better music, Predator won 2-1. And then better rewatchability, Predator won 2-1.
I think this is going to be closer than we think.
The winner, going by now again,
It's
going
Predator.
by the categories.
Yeah.
Prey did. I'm inspired. Prey inspired to watch Predator 2. There you go. That's good. AMXUM, sure as mentioned, but it looks like a really Predator fight, this first big hunt type of thing. Great movie. Sure.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
According to the categories, the winner of this bout is Prey
Whoa.
by 2 points.
Okay. I thought it might squeak it out. That was going to be my snap judgment. I thought Prey was going to squeak it out.
Wow.
I'm happy.
That's
I'm
not
really
saying
happy.
that Prey is the better movie, of course.
Yes, it does.
Going by the categories,
Yes,
Prey does score a technical knockdown. Predator didn't make it back up.
I would
interesting
say
enough.
split. I would say split decision.
Split decision. Okay, we'll go with that. You're more the. I don't know. I watch Rocky. That's all I know.
I'd say it's a split decision. You could argue either way. One of the judges may have been crooked.
All I
and
have
he
to
even
say,
tried. He tried to sway it in Predator's way. He made up like it's pretty much when you got 3 judges. We'll bring in a 4th judge right now.
No, I really wanted to see what you guys had to say about that because I'm kind of curious.
No use of instant replay.
If you had wanted to, I would have tossed out the music category, tossed out another category if that's what I won. Prey won by points, but overall, I do like Predator better myself. Overall, I think Predator is a better movie overall. But Prey is a very fine addition to the franchise. I'm glad to see it got made. I'm excited for that, and but I'm glad that Prey gets its flowers, as you will. Yeah, I see what I did there with the flowers.
I think Prey is the superior movie. I that shows how I'm not, and I really like Predator. But just Prey was fucking amazing, so damn good.
Both can agree that Prey is fucking good. I'll give you that, and Predator's good. Anything last to say about it, Matty? Happy birthday, boy!
Both movies are fucking sweet. Go watch these movies. Like I know they, especially right now with Lord of the Rings. Game
House
of Thrones, The Sandman, like so
I'm
much
gonna watch
content coming out right now. Give this movie the time of day, because it really is fucking great. It's not just a fucking hype job. Don't listen to what like a lot of people saying of a girl couldn't beat the Predator. Listen, Ashley Evans Smith, Cynthia Calvillo, Jessica Rose Clark. These are 3 women that I know personally that off the bat could beat the shit out of most grown-ass fucking men. So don't let that phase you. The fact that it's a female lead. This movie is fucking great.
It is.
Go watch it.
Absolutely. Hopefully we'll get our next one. Well, first of all, Prey is doing well enough that I think we're going to get a next one, which is good to say. I'm hoping we get the next one
lead
on the big screen.
Yes.
Hoping to see it in the big screen because that's where I love to watch my movies. But this wasn't a bad way to do it as well. Great to see you guys. Thank you so much for sticking around, everybody. I want to say, throw it there. I got to get my Patreon up. If you want to join us on PLD Products More, we do have a Patreon at patreon.com/PLD Products.
A lot of new people in the chat tonight, which is good to hear. Good to see.
A lot of new people in the chat. I'm glad to see everybody in the chat. I want to shout out a few of my patrons who have been with me for a while now. We have, of course, Danielle Ramirez, Brandon Buckingham, Brandy Parker, Jeff Alterman, John Lustrina, Kelly W. All of you, thank you so much. Extra content, bonus features there. We have some hangouts. They're going to be pretty cool. So join that on patreon.com/PLD Projects. I did have an announcement to make that PJ and I have a spectacular gig that we just signed up for, so to speak. So we're going to be missing the next couple of weeks. Unfortunately, means Too Mediocre White Dude is going to go on hiatus for about 3 weeks, not this week, next week or the next week. We'll be back on August 31st to continue our journey in the Halloween franchise. Crown Jewels will likewise continue in 3 weeks, but I believe what we talked about before that Matty and Richard-Erik Jarvi here are going to be continuing class action without me for the next 2 weeks anyway. And I will return following that when I get back from my gig. I don't know what they're going to be
get
doing.
some special guest co-hosts.
Might get some special guests.
I'll pull out the bat signal and
See who else will be on here. So
see who shows up.
that's where we go. Hopefully that will be the next time. So until next time, of course, I salute you, and justice has been served. Court is adjourned. Boom.
Where can the people find you, though?
Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot about that, huh? Where can the people find
It's
me?
too late now.
Nope. At Paul DiNuzzo on Twitter. How about you, Jarvi?
Richard-Erik with a K, Jarvi on Facebook and Instagram.
And Matty.
At Matty Gunner on Twitter, Matty_Gunner on Instagram.
All right, then that's good enough, my friends. Bye now.